Mark's wheelchair, death. Rain poured down across Camp Crystal Lake. Mark, a paraplegic counselor, sat quietly on the porch in his wheelchair. He was calm, unaware of the danger closing in. Jason was there, silent, watching, waiting. Mark's vulnerability made the scene almost unbearable, until Jason stepped out of the shadows with his machete. The strike came fast, cutting deep into Mark's face, but the pain didn't end there. The impact sent Mark and his wheelchair tumbling helplessly down a long flight of stairs. Each thud against the wooden steps echoed louder than the storm. No one was safe, not even the most sympathetic. Andy's handstand, death. Inside the cabin, Andy showed off, walking on his hands, upside down, laughing as he moved down the hallway. Harmless fun. Until Jason appeared. Perfect timing. Machete already raised. Andy couldn't see him. He was focused only on the floor. Jason brought the blade down in one powerful strike, straight through his body, slicing him vertically. The scene froze in shock. A stunt turned into a moment of pure horror. Andy's acrobatics ended in silence. Axel's morgue death. Axel, the morgue attendant, thought the dead bodies around him were the worst part of his job. He was wrong. Jason approached silently, patient as ever. First, he struck with a hacksaw, dragging it across Axel's throat. The sound was slow, deliberate, a punishment drawn out. Then, Jason twisted Axel's head all the way around, 180 degrees, one smooth, horrifying motion. Surrounded by corpses, Axel became one of them. Doug's shower death. The shower steamed. Doug relaxed, rinsing away the day, vulnerable, at peace. But Jason was there, no warning, just raw strength. Yeah, he should have been worrying about Jason, not the soap. He grabbed Doug's head and smashed it into the tiled wall. The sound was sickening, bones cracking, tiles breaking. Doug's body went limp instantly. The classic shower scene reinvented into one of Jason's most brutal barehanded kills. Sheriff Garris's broken spine. Sheriff Garris believed his badge, his authority, and his courage would be enough. He wasn't just any victim. He was the symbol of order in Crystal Lake, the man meant to stand between chaos and the innocent campers he swore to protect. When Jason appeared, Garris didn't hesitate. He shouted commands, trying to assert control, trying to restrain the unstoppable, but Jason didn't care. The mask didn't blink. The body didn't flinch. Jason grabbed the sheriff with both hands. His strength was overwhelming, inhuman. He bent Garris backwards, slowly, too slowly. The sheriff struggled, grunting in pain, fighting with everything he had. For a moment, it seemed like his training might save him, until his spine gave way. Snap after snap, bones broke under Jason's crushing grip. The lawman who represented order and justice crumbled in seconds, and with him, the last sense of safety at Crystal Lake collapsed too. Sleeping bag. Kill. Night fell across the woods. A camper zipped herself snugly into a sleeping bag, cocooned against the cold night air. She was warm, protected, safe. The fire outside flickered. The forest was quiet. For a moment, it felt like nothing could break the peace. But Jason was already there, watching, waiting. Without warning, he dragged the entire bag across the ground. She screamed, muffled and helpless, thrashing inside. But the fabric held tight, turning her haven into a trap. She couldn't see. She couldn't fight. All she could feel was movement as Jason lifted the bag off the ground. Then, impact. He swung it violently against a tree. The sound thundered through the forest, a dull, heavy thud that cut through the silence. He swung again, even harder. The echoes carried in every direction, a chilling reminder that in Jason's world, even comfort could be turned into a weapon. Vinny's road, flare. This time, it wasn't Jason. It was Roy Burns, the copycat killer. But the pain he inflicted was every bit as real. Vinny sat in his car, engine humming, thinking the night was uneventful. He was relaxed, unsuspecting. The last thing he expected was danger. Calling him a douchebag was the last mistake he ever made. Until Roy appeared, silent and precise. The mask gave him Jason's face, and for Vinny, there was no way to tell the difference. In one sudden motion, Roy shoved a lit road flare into Vinny's face, pressing it down with relentless force. The flame hissed as it burned against skin, orange light filling the car. The scream came instantly, sharp, panicked, cut short by searing pain. The fire wasn't slow, and it wasn't merciful. It ended fast, but the image burned into memory. A flare meant for safety had become an instrument of torture. Proof that Jason's legacy didn't require Jason himself. His legend had already created monsters. Julius rooftop fight. The city skyline loomed. Rain slicked the rooftop. Julius the boxer refused to run. He raised his fist. He was determined to go down fighting. Punch after punch slammed into Jason's mask. Julius hit with everything he had, emptying himself into the fight. But Jason didn't flinch, not once, until Julius collapsed from exhaustion, out of breath, out of hope. Jason looked at him, paused, then delivered a single punch, one devastating blow. Julius's head flew off the rooftop, tumbling into a dumpster below. All that effort, all that courage, gone in an instant. Adrian's liquid nitrogen death, centuries in the future, a laboratory. Jason's body lay on the table, frozen and harmless, or so they thought. Adrian, the scientist, leaned in to examine him. Her curiosity was fatal. Jason awoke. He grabbed her, dragging her toward a workstation, until he shoved her head into liquid nitrogen. Her face froze instantly, turned solid as ice. Jason slammed it against the counter, shattering it into pieces. Cold, quick, and horrifyingly creative. A kill that became one of the most infamous in the franchise. Trey's bed death. The bedroom was supposed to be safe. Trey stretched out on the bed, arrogant, smug, and convinced that nothing could touch him inside the comfort of four walls. The soft mattress, the dim light, the closed door, it all felt secure. But Jason was already inside, silent, relentless. No theatrics, no warning, just purpose. The machete came down hard, then again and again. Each strike pinned Trey deeper into the mattress, trapping him, forcing him into stillness. His screams turned into gasps as Jason kept pressing the blade, until the real horror began. With terrifying strength, Jason bent the bed in half, folding Trey's body like broken furniture. Bones snapped. The sound echoed, chilling and final. A bed, built for comfort and intimacy, transformed into a steel trap of death. What should have been a place of safety became Trey's coffin, sealing his fate in one of Jason's most nightmarish kills. Eddie's belt crush. In the reboot, Eddie wandered into the woods looking for fun, but Jason was already hunting. Eddie was cornered. Jason wrapped a leather belt around his head. Slowly, methodically, Jason tightened it, turning the belt into a vice, until Eddie's skull began to cave. The pressure was unbearable. It wasn't fast. It was drawn out, cruel, and suffocating. Jason had turned an everyday object into a tool of agony. Amanda's sleeping bag. Death. The woods were dark. Amanda thought she was safe in her sleeping bag. She wasn't. Jason grabbed the entire bag, dragging it toward a fire. She screamed, trapped, helpless, until Jason hung the bag above the flames. Smoke filled her lungs. Heat scorched her body. Her cries faded into silence as her friend Richie was forced to watch, powerless. It was a cruel twist on Jason's most iconic kill. This time, the sleeping bag didn't end against a tree, it ended in fire. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more videos.